But she still maintained that she was innocent. What did she tell you about that?
That she just passed out at the wheel, basically what she told the documentary. She passed out at the wheel, that the prosecutors were painting her to be the bad guy. She claimed she never threatened to crash the car like everyone says, that Dom did it. And a couple weeks before that, he had, like, before the crash had happened, he was like grabbing her wheel and stuff. But honestly, I don't believe it. I think she was just going with whatever her lawyer was saying.
For a brief period, life inside prison became about more than court appeals, disciplinary rules, and surviving another day behind bars. According to Shyann Topping, she and Mackenzie Shirilla formed a close bond while incarcerated at the Ohio Reformatory for Women.
Previously, before I met her in prison, no, I did not know who she was, because when she caught her case, I was locked up as well. I just thought she was pretty, because down there's not a lot of people that have teeth or are really bad on drugs. So we started talking, and she told me her nickname was Shirilla the Killer. Like, that's what her bunkmates called her and all this other stuff.
At the time, Topping said she believed Mackenzie's version of events. She reportedly viewed Mackenzie as someone who had been unfairly judged by the public and misunderstood by the legal system.
So she's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
That belief created the foundation for their relationship. The two spent significant time together and eventually became romantically involved.
And did she ever seem remorseful? Did you ever see her cry during these moments?
No, I've never seen her cry once ever in prison.
Asked her.
She was actually really happy.
That, right?
Inside prison, where freedom is limited and emotional support can be difficult to find, relationships often develop under unusual circumstances. The outside world disappears. The same faces become part of daily life. Connections can become intense very quickly. According to Topping, that's exactly what happened. At first, Shyann Topping believed she knew exactly who Mackenzie Shirilla was.
Mackenzie Shirilla, at the time 17 years old, is accused of intentionally crashing a vehicle with her 20-year-old boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his 19-year-old friend, Davion Flanagan, in the car. Now, the prosecution says she was going 100 miles per hour when she crashed into a building in northwest Strongsville in July of 2022.
But after Topping was released from prison, something began to change. Away from the daily routines of incarceration, she found herself looking at the case through a different lens. For the first time, she was able to independently review information surrounding the crash and resist evidence that at once seemed distant.
She had to be extracted by jaws of life.
Okay.
Right leg. She had a broken leg, several broken ribs. She was life flighted.
I'll cut you loose. What? Cool, that's fine by me.
I truly still do not know how Mackenzie survived that crash.
According to Topping, the more she learned, the more uncomfortable she became. Questions began replacing certainty. Doubts began replacing trust. What she had once accepted at face value no longer seemed as clear. As those doubts grew, the relationship became strained. The emotional connection that had developed behind prison walls now faced a reality that neither woman had experienced while they were together, and a growing disagreement about the events that had brought Mackenzie to prison in the first place. Topping later claimed that Mackenzie appeared to show little remorse when discussing the crash that killed Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan.
And then when I found out her case, yes, it was shocking to me, because you are so young and you're facing life in prison. And the love of your life, the one you claim you're going to marry, he's gone.
You know, Jesus Christ. This is the worst I've ever seen.
They found Dominic and Davion not wearing seatbelts. They were sort of stacked on top of one another, laying from the front passenger seat through to the rear driver's side seat.
Davion and Dominic were killed instantly.
Rest in peace, buddy.
One of Topping's most controversial allegations was that Mackenzie allegedly laughed about being known among some inmates as Shirilla the Killer, a nickname that reportedly referenced her murder conviction. Topping said the nickname and Mackenzie's reaction to it disturbed her because she believed it reflected a lack of seriousness about the tragedy. She also claimed that Mackenzie spent more time talking about her future, media attention, and life after prison than discussing the victims of the crash. These allegations quickly sparked a debate online, with critics viewing them as evidence of Mackenzie's mindset, while supporters argued that the claims came from a disgruntled ex-partner and should be treated with caution. Relationships outside prison are difficult enough, but relationships that begin behind bars face challenges few people can fully understand. According to Topping's later statements, she no longer viewed Mackenzie the same way. The woman she loved was now the subject of serious questions in her own mind. Questions she could not ignore. Topping alleged that she received hostile and threatening messages from Mackenzie during the fallout of their breakup. She claimed the messages were intended to intimidate her and discourage her from speaking about their relationship and experiences behind bars. The relationship ultimately came to an end, but the breakup itself wasn't what attracted national attention. What happened afterward did. Rather than quietly moving on with her life, Topping chose to speak publicly. She began sharing her experiences with media outlets and discussing what she claimed to have witnessed while incarcerated alongside Mackenzie. Almost immediately, her comments became headline news. Some people viewed her as an insider, providing a rare glimpse into the life of one of America's most controversial young inmates. Others were skeptical because they questioned her motives. They wondered whether the end of the relationship had influenced her perspective, and they asked an important question. Could the allegations be trusted if they came from someone who had once been romantically involved with the person she was now criticizing? The answer depended entirely on who you asked. The conversation was no longer about a fatal crash. It was about credibility and whether life behind bars had revealed something the public had never seen before. For Mackenzie's supporters, the breakup changed nothing. For her critics, it reinforced everything they already believed. And for everyone else, it raised a difficult question that still remains unanswered. Was Shyann Topping exposing the truth, or was she sharing only one side to an already complicated story? Whatever the answer may be, the end of their relationship marked the beginning of a new chapter in the Mackenzie Shirilla saga, a chapter that continues to generate headlines long after the original trial came to an end. Years after the crash that killed Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan, emotions surrounding the Mackenzie Shirilla case remain just as intense as ever. The courtroom battle may be over, but the debate of public opinion is just getting started. For some people, the prison relationship and the allegations made Shyann Topping confirm what they already believed from the beginning. They see the interviews as a glimpse into Mackenzie's true character. Others view the situation as just another failed relationship that became public. The truth may be impossible for the public to fully know. Only the people who lived through those experiences understand exactly what happened behind prison walls. But what cannot be disputed is the impact of the original crash. 2 young men lost their lives, 2 families were changed forever, and a teenager became one of the most controversial inmates in America. Today, Mackenzie remains at the center of a story that continues to evolve. And now, because of the claims made by a former prison girlfriend, a completely new chapter has been added to an already remarkable case. Whether those allegations ultimately change public opinion remains to be unseen, but they have ensured that the Mackenzie Shirilla story is far from forgotten. And as long as people continue asking questions about what happened that night in Strongsville, Ohio, the controversy surrounding Mackenzie Shirilla is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe for more thrilling true crime videos. Until next time, I'm John Berry, and I'll see you later.